And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of
I
entanglement.
think you need to say clearly what happened.
And I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
Hey, that's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
Welcome to Quiz My Set. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. But before we go any further, do me one small favor and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Now, today is going to be an interesting conversation as we're going to be discussing entanglements versus relationship goals. And with me today, I have Dylan Downs and Melissa Green. And trust me, this can get real interesting tonight. So I want you to just stay close to the screen. If you have questions, go right ahead and drop your questions as we begin to dive in. So Dylan, welcome.
Hi, Kamisha. How are you?
Welcome, Melissa. It's great having you. So, question? Yes, of course. First question for both, either one of you guys. Either one can answer this question. What would you say is an entanglement?
Well, I'll start off. Yeah. An entanglement is the 2020 definition of basically cheating on your spouse or your significant other, and it came about and became much more popular when Jada and Will, during the right table discussion, Jada made mention of her being in an entanglement, and then it blew up where she was in a compromising position, and being in such a compromising position, she decided, hey, you know what, this is not working out. She fell for someone else. They did their thing while she was still involved, or supposed to be still involved with her significant other.
Right.
I just think it's a modern day twist to
So
cheating on your
cheating,
Yes.
pretty much. You would agree with that too, Melissa? Or you have a different definition?
I agree with Dylan. Is people are going to find different ways to try to justify, what they're doing. No strings attached, friends with benefits. Not being, you don't want to say in a relationship, but you don't know what to call it. You might be just talking to somebody, just dating. So it's a whole lot of terms out there for confused.
That's a good one.
So
Confused.
Jada had entanglement, and Melissa, we bring up
Confused, right? Pretty much confused. But I guess I would have to agree with that too. Do you think though? How do we define our relationship goals? Because we see a lot of people posting stuff and making relationships looking so perfect and pretty and well put together, and everything is always in place. But how would you really define relationship goals?
Well, yeah, people like to do these social media, I guess, and paint a picture of what a normal relationship should look like.
Yes.
But ups and its downs, is compromise, is kind of balance, is about respect. It's a whole lot of different things that go into having a relationship goal. And sometimes it all depends on knowing the person, knowing your partner, know who you're with. So I don't. It changes. It's not the same from the get go.
Right.
So along you're gonna fall off. You may fall back on. You may walk, but it is a lot. It's a lot. If you want to stick in it, you got to know the person's personality. I know if there's somebody that makes you happy, you have to be happy at the end of the day. You have
Correct.
to be happy.
Correct. Dylan, what would you say is a relationship goal for you?
Kamisha. All right. What was her relationship goal is for me? All of what Melissa basically stated is what people aspire to have, yeah?
Yeah.
And watching television, everything on television seems so all happy endings, everyone living life as golden as possible. But as I got older, I realized that that's not the reality that we face in the real world. And I realized that there's a lot of compromise that is required. It's very challenging, because of the different personalities, because no one is the same. And it's like, and so in Barbados we have the rainy season, then we have summer, the dry season, so persons go through their season. So it may start off all good, and then it transitions and it starts to get a little challenging. So I try to ensure that when I think about relationship goals and what I want, I try to make sure that I look at the longevity of stuff and ensuring that this is something that I want, and this is the person that I want, and the level of compatibility. And that is also very, very important.
I like that. You talked a lot about compatibility. Can you share an experience that you might have had with, what you thought could have been a relationship goal, but then you realize, hey, the compatibility was not really there? Can you remember any of those, or did you even have one of those?
Did I ever have one of those? Well, there was this time that I was involved with someone, and we dated for a while, and I call it the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase was the best phase. Everything just seemed like what the pictures that I watched would have alluded to. Exactly, 110%.
Yeah.
But then I want to say the seed of Chucky would have presented itself, and I didn't know how to handle the seed of Chucky. And then I felt as though everything that I did was under scrutiny. So if I turn left, I had to justify my turning left. If I turn right, I had to justify my turning right. And I was like, if we are supposed to be going forward in a strong and meaningful relationship, then I would assume that there should be some level of trust. And then when it comes to compatibility, now I usually don't think that there are different classes. As much people may say there are different classes. So, I'm in the upper echelon and, you are down there. I just think love is love. But then I realized this person, can't call names, Kamisha.
Right.
But
please don't.
person, you really couldn't take them anywhere, So if back in my earlier days, before transitioning to the church, this person, they were good in the club, but to take them to a social event where, I had to sit down, use a knife and fork for dinner is like all fingers are being used, and I'm looking around the room like, okay, what's happening here? And, try to have them alone, but then the person, they weren't amenable to, changing and understanding that there's a time and a place for everything. And then, you know what? I didn't have enough time to take them through the process. So that was for me.
It cut one time. So
like legit.
So this question is for, it's for both of you, but I want to direct it to Melissa first to give her a chance to respond. And it's an interesting question because I know both of your relationship, you guys are best friends. So my question is, can male and females be best friends without being intimate? Is this true? What are your thoughts on that?
Depends. Because I think I don't know, because you could probably be best friends, and then along the way you develop feelings because you realize this person, as you spoke about compatibility, so you may realize you've been going through relationships and nobody seems to know you, or you can't get along with somebody, but all the while the person was next to you being your best friend. So you hear people say, marry your best friend, so probably starting out, then if you realize, nothing can transcend from you being just best friends, because eventually you're going to become brother and sister. You no longer say You say family, you say siblings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like nasty and we're like, you know, not gonna,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
have a, so I guess it depends because people change. People change, feelings change. So you never
Mm-hmm.
know, best friends may end up marrying one another. But in this case,
Mm-hmm.
there's my brother. I'm not going to. Are they?
The record straight. That's what everybody knows.
Definitely can
What would
start
you
off
say?
on it, but
Uh-huh.
it really ends up being something else.
True. Then you want to add to that? I think my assistant is letting me know that we do have a caller on the line, but before we let the caller in, I want to hear your take, and then we'll see what they have to say about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Best friends,
Yeah.
they all depend that they can be lovers, and it can transition depending on how feelings go. But you also need to indicate, draw the line with the boundaries. So once
Right.
you've established a transition from best friends to brother and sister, or as the siblings, then
Mm-hmm.
you know, gone a whole other route. So it becomes not you
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
differently. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do believe that best friends can fall in love. However, I do believe once you've crossed that line into becoming family, then no, it no longer exists.
Okay. Well, let's see what this caller on the line has to say. Go ahead, caller number one.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. So my question is, what type of boundaries should you put up in order to, if one party wants to keep the relationship, just friends, so that the other person doesn't think, beyond friendship?
Hmm,
I,
that's
I
a good
think
one.
I think it boils down to communication, and some you can tell when things or when someone has
Mm-hmm.
started to change in terms of their behaviors towards you and stuff like that. So once you would have observed those signs, I think that it is prudent that you have that conversation, especially if you know that you are not that person or you don't believe that that relationship should blossom into more than a best friendship or siblingship. Then I believe you should have that conversation, set the record straight, so that at the end of the day, the other person does not end up being hurt or feeling a particular way. Because if you allow those feelings to manifest and it
Mm-hmm.
reach the point of no return, then you not only would you not have a lover, but you may not have a friend in the long run.
True.
And lovers come and go, but friends are there to stay. And this is my writer.
But what happens if, okay, you have that conversation with them, you set the boundaries, you realize, okay, I recognize that, you catch a feeling, so let's deal with this quickly. You have that conversation, y'all good, you think y'all are good, but then you realize that it's still persistent in certain like behaviors and stuff. And obviously you value the friendship, you don't want the friendship to end, but you realize that what's happening, we kind of towing the line here. So like, how do you handle something like that? Because there are stuff like that happening out there.
Well, then I say, so if I am open enough and I say to you, well,
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, I really think I'm feeling a type of way for you. No,
Mm-hmm.
for it to work, he has
Yeah.
to feel the same.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I have these feelings and he not have these feelings, and I expect in my head that we can have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to respect the fact that he does not share the same type of emotions and things that I have for him, and he
Mm-hmm.
just wants to keep it platonic. So then I would know, okay, it makes no sense going down that road because I can't do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
The person that I want don't want me, so I have to move on.
Right. I mean, that's the sensible thing to do. But I asked this question because I actually knew of a similar situation where the person told them that they, want to keep it friends and stuff, but the other person is thinking, she can come around. So let's just keep hanging in there. Let's still be the friend. I'll be the one because I'm the one you call when you need this. I'm the one you call and you tell this and that too. I know everything about you. So I just wait until you recognize that it is me. Now, what would be our advice? What would be our advice to a person who is going through a similar situation? Or would we call that stemming towards an entanglement? How would you advise someone in that case?
No, because again, if if the best friend said to the person, well, let's keep it friends, and you're holding out hope, in the long run, you're going to do more harm than good to yourself, because then you're going to start to get all these jealous feelings when your best friend starts to probably get into another relationship. So then yourself more. Sometimes you can't help it, but you have to be a bigger person, a stronger person, and kind of get over it. And so, okay, count your losses. You know what? Realize that it can't happen. That's just, if I want to keep my best friend, lose my best friend. As I said before, but
that's the diplomatic response.
Let me hear.
Yeah? But that's too much. That's too much words. The advice is let go and let God. You understand?
All right.
Like at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. Just give up. Hope, give up.
But she
on
may
it.
be a hopeless romantic. She may be holding out hope, as you said, Kamisha, because this is the person he's comfortable with. This is the person who knows everything about. So on her end, she hope that maybe someday he will come around and realize that, all along the one you've wanted has been always been beside me for all this. She may be right. He may just never know. Or just never seen her in that light. He sees her as a sister. So he may be to that point. Seeing her like, ew, no, I can't do that. I can't do that with you. You never know if she got a boyfriend. No, he maybe just know she can really see like, oh, he really feels. But
it's possible.
If she wants it and he doesn't want it, she's going to be holding on, and it's going to be doing more harm than good.
It's a recipe for disaster.
So pretty much run away from your situation. Run.
So you're a who should run?
Usain Bolt type running.
Who's running?
Who's running? That girl
the guy is running away from her.
Listen, somebody gotta run.
But I catch your feelings need to run.
Run hard, don't look back.
Yeah, just realize that it's not gonna happen. You never know. Life is so funny that after she moves on, then he may realize, oh, there, I know I have feelings for her, but it's too late. It always happens like that.
It's true.
When you want me, when I wanted you, you didn't want me.
Right. I know it's popping. You checked it for me. Yeah. It's true. So our next question for you guys are, what would be your advice to a woman or a man who is going through an entanglement?
Easy.
Go ahead, Dylan. I see you warming up for this response.
Yeah, he is.
Listen, entanglements an entanglement probably could be fun in the beginning, but long run, especially in Barbados. I mean, the audience you're targeting may be outside of Barbados, which is, a bigger demographic and stuff, but in Barbados it's small and things get out. People talk. So you can't have a discreet entanglement in Barbados, right? It's going to be very hard to have that. And even if you get away with it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, eventually someone will find out your entanglement, and then you are entangled. Depending on what type of, if it's a man, what type of woman you're dating, she may have your neck on the block. So it is I keep using a recipe for disaster, but you know what? That is a ticking bomb ready to explode, especially in this environment that we live in. I would say no entanglement, no in this environment. But it could be fun.
Laugh it out.
It could be fun though. So I still gotta, just in case some people I know here may be listening and watching,
That could be fun. But one more thing before we move on, though. I know we had a caller just now on the line who asked a question about boundaries. But was your question answered, or do you have a follow-up question from that?
No, my question was answered. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
You're welcome.
Since we're on that note about the entanglements, and you just gave your advice about the entanglements, the question, this is the big question, the question that everybody I know is waiting to hear. Have you ever okay, let me rephrase this one before I put it that way. What are some of the types of entanglements out there that you may be aware of? What are some of those types of entanglements? because we can have the same best friend scenario like we just discussed, you know, the male female thing. But then I'm sure there are others out there.
Listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was they say this. The world that
Let me grab my wine for this one.
I think we need to is pretty fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the words very carefully here. It's pretty fluid. And I think that what we think is normal is no longer the normal. So the types of entanglements that may exist may be somewhat mind-blowing for many. So whereas we think it may be a man having two women, or it may be a woman having two men, you know, it gets more creative, it gets more interesting than that in the long run, given the fact of how fluid some person may be, and the fact that persons may be curious and wanted to try other things. Been hearing recently about this thing called a truple. It's called? Is it truple? A truple. Like, I hope I'm saying it correctly.
Oh, a truple.
Yeah, it's like three people in a relationship, and they mean like all three know each other, and it's like we together,
And they're fine with it.
And they're fine with it, and I was like, wait, hold up, truple. Okay, interesting. You know, 2020, and I'm like, wow, very, very much interesting for me. So yeah, there are lots of different types of entanglement. It's just not the generic one that we may know of.
Right. Okay, so I'm getting that we have another caller on the line. I anticipate that they probably have a question towards this entanglement. I'm going to go ahead and let them come in. Go ahead, caller number 2. Are you there?
Hi, good night.
Hi, good night.
Hey, good night. Okay, so my question, you mentioned about, you spoke about entanglements, and I have a different understanding of it than you all did, because for me, it's not, entanglement for me goes with not having a label on something. So it's like you and somebody are going through the walks together, like you're spending time together, you're going out, you're going shopping, you're going dinner, you're going lunch, you're being intimate, but then there's no label behind it. So then what do you all deem that to be? If not entanglement. Wait, can I see my
Yes, that's
What she
it.
said? I didn't hear that, Melissa. Say that again.
Relationship.
A situationship. Wow.
Oh.
You agree?
Well, okay. I mean that's acceptable, I guess. That's
So-
acceptable. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
So for the caller, is there a level of intimacy with this particular person, or is doing everything with the exception of being intimate?
Doing everything exception of being intimate.
Yeah, definitely a situation.
But that's a
So
conversation.
you just want the person there for comfort then?
It comes.
You don't want to be alone. You just want companionship. That's what you mean?
And you know your questions.
Pardon?
So, and usually you will have the discussions. If you see it's been going on for a while, when it first started, obviously you get to know the person, you're dating, whatever. But then I guess you have that discussion leading up to, you know, when you're getting closer, you're going to decide, okay, do I want a relationship or do I just enjoy your company? And as you said, we don't want to put a label on it because, you know, some people just like to have fun. They don't want anything to keep it open. They want to keep the options open, so they don't want to say they're committed to one person because they explore the options out there, or you may not even be the one that they actually want. So you know what? You may be maybe the fun person, but you're not the one that they want to settle down with.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that makes was answered then. I think it was answered.
Okay, good. Thanks for calling. So leading up from that, what is it that most men can be, you know, now we are on that. What is it that most men can be sexually involved with a woman and not be attached? But for a woman, it's the opposite way around. What do you think? Because women, yeah, women are definitely more emotional.
Emotional.
Yeah, very emotional, yeah.
things, and we got a lot of expectations in our minds of what is supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen, how it's supposed to happen, who it's supposed to happen. Well, I got this by this time, this, but you know,
So
we
it's
put a lot
of expectation. That really Dylan is silent on this. Dylan, from a man's point of view, what's really going through your head when you in your mind you don't tell yourself, all right, this is a situationship for me. I just in it for the benefit and I get to go. How do you control that? Because obviously for a woman, like we just mentioned, we're emotional, so we got all these, you know, high level expectations. But for a man, explain that to me. Help me to understand.
You can go for my glasses for this. Now, as it relates to men and emotions, like as I said, let's just do it today. Females, you guys are definitely 110% a little bit too emotional. But I will also say this: sometimes some men are of a similar nature. So some men would feel that way, but I guess majority may not because they don't hold on to things as long. So in terms of not being sexist, but you know, some of you ladies just become bitter about every little thing. Like you just, I guess you can't be what we live. So you know, you just would crawl and just be fretting over every little thing. So, and most of the time, us men is like, you know what? It is what it is. You know, life's short. We can do what we gotta do. We can move on. We got stories to tell. That type of thing. But that is, as I said, I don't know if I am speaking for the majority, but I know that there's some also that they get emotional. They do fall in love. They do become really attached to people, and I am exhibit A. I'm that type of person. I am a hopeful romantic, and I hold on to things, and I love strongly in the beginning until things go left. Then when it goes left, then it becomes your worst nightmare.
So if it is that entanglements are pretty much another words for say cheating, right? Why do men cheat?
Because they're not. There's several reasons.
Yeah, that could be glasses for me there.
Several reasons. Lack thereof attention. It could be there's sometimes some men, and this is a serious thing that persons do not acknowledge, is that there's some persons who are real sexaholics.
That's a holics, yes, that's a holics, yeah.
They just love sex, and sometimes the girlfriend or the wife or whoever may not be, I don't use the word giving up, but they may not be giving in to the man's urges as much as he would want. And then also it could be even in working environments, because as you know, sometimes you spend most of your time at work and there's no few places just have the same sex working in the organization. So, you know, sometimes feelings may develop and you start meeting persons, and then eventually one thing leads to another, and then boom. You know, but
so you don't think that there's a way to control that feeling? Because I mean, I'm not, just help me understand. If I'm in love with someone, I'm in a relationship, maybe I'm thinking of it as a woman's perspective, but help me out here. I'm in love with this person, we together, and yes, things aren't going right. We ain't at the level, we ain't having the perfect relationship goals. So we got challenges, and other persons that this person is popping up and they seeing certain things in this other person that I would love to see in my person. Does that give me the right then to say, go ahead and do it? Or do you think it can be controlled, where you can say, okay, you know what, I need to have a conversation with my person?
It does not give you the right to go out and cheat. Yeah, it does not give you the right to give in. By the end of the day, see this flesh. You're weak sometimes, and when I say weak, because you targeting men, but in these days, only men the more. Yes, women just
very
as bad.
True. Because in there, that's like the next question. I'm waiting for Melissa, but give you a chance to get yourself, express yourself.
Wait till Melissa say about hers, because when it's just as bad, or you know what, even worse. You know what? If I can say, right, and I give females kudos, because at least females know how to wipe the mouth clean, and never, ever, ever, nothing will ever come out of that. But for some reason, I do not know for the life of me, men don't ever get away with it. It's always a sloppy job, you know.
Is it that it's a sloppy job, or is it that because of our intuition?
I know.
But let's fill in the gap there for him. Explain it for him. from the woman's perspective?
When men cheat versus when women cheat, I believe, is that men don't go in with the expectation that they want this person for the long haul. They're going with the expectation, like, yeah, I see it, you know, I see a woman, she look good, whatever. That.
Yeah,
you know, so,
entanglement.
yeah, they're just going in, they're going in to fall in love.
Right.
You know, they're going to have fun, get out in and out, and hope that nobody don't get feelings.
Right.
It's different for women. Usually women, we plan everything, so we know if we want to have an affair with somebody, we know if we like this body, if we don't like this body, anything like that. So the more later is like, you're probably already checked out. You're probably already checked out. So that's why I guess to men take it harder than women, because they know if a go ahead and she cheats, she probably is going to end up being in love.
With that person.
Whereas the men, they don't think about it that way. They're just going for the fun of it. For the part. But women, they go and get attached and they want to go on dates. Like what the caller number 2 was saying, you know, you're going on, you're having sex, you ain't calling it nothing, you're just having fun.
Situationship. So why do you think that there are some women out there who settle to be the side chick? Let me address the side chick. I know there've been a lot of conversation around being the side chick. How some women would say, you know, I don't mind being on the sideline. I get my money, I get this, I go back. I know that type of culture and stuff. You know, why do you think some women settle for that?
Sometimes they don't even know.
Sorry? I didn't hear what you said.
They don't even know that they're the side chick.
There you go. That's true. That is true.
I don't know if they're settled, but I guess the fact that they're so much in love with the person, they don't want to risk losing them if they decide to push it and say, okay, I can't do this anymore. I want you to end the relationship. So in their mind, they know it's not going to happen, but yet they're not strong enough to walk away because they're trying to enjoy, they're trying to see if the person will, I guess, come around.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
I mean, it's very hard to turn off and turn on. So sometimes they go through a lot, and then you know it's like I had enough. And with women can take a lot until they decide to break off, and then after that, it's almost like it didn't even exist.
Done. You're done for good.
Take a while. So for women, it takes a while to get out, but once we're out, and they behave as though, oh, if you go down there, they will find somebody else. But it hits them later down that, oh, I lost somebody good. I should have done this. I should have done that. So it may take a woman long to get out, but then when she out, she out.
So what would you say are the signs to know when somebody is cheating, to know, well, it's time for me to get out of this relationship. Don't make sense sticking up in this anymore. It's time for me to leave. What are some of these signs?
You're kicked. And then you know.
What she said? I didn't hear that at all. Speak for me.
So I ain't got no work now.
What? That you're the same. What she said?
So now you letting me bring all the trays of these plates. So now I ain't got no work because people gonna know to look for. They gonna come to me now to do the job.
Kamisha.
Serious FBI agent.
Listen, every relationship I was in. Listen, Melissa was part and parcel of the relationship. It was like almost like a truffle here because she was involved. And Melissa literally just look at me and say, Dylan, let me let you no more. I'd be like, what? Oh, you know?
Oh, you know.
It's after, again, like different things on Facebook. Look at this here. Watching movementation there. The hand in the hand there. Now look in the back. In the back hole in the hand bag. She went to the cruise with he. Now then she said, let me show you another picture here. See here, but he said the picture up close. Now let me show you a picture here. That picture he got there. Look at that, like in the background. That's she mother car there in the background. That means take a picture of she up. And I'd be like, you know all of this?
You're a PI.
And then I have another friend
Uh-huh.
that I call.
No
I have
names, no
another
names.
that with him is a simple case of, you know what, I think who I got cheating on me. Oh, who you think? It could be, I don't know. Don't worry, friend. I'm gonna find out by tomorrow for you. And then by tomorrow, and then have a name, address, where to work, everything. I'll be like, how did you get that done and so quickly? Like these people just know, like especially Melissa and him, they just know how to do it. So
wow.
I guess that's he's speaking about a third party
Okay,
for the outside.
But yeah.
When relationship, sometimes you're so blinded that you tend to overlook things before. So sometimes we know the feeling might be there, but it's so much relationship to work, you're gonna bury it deep down.
Yeah.
You know, something keeps bringing back up all the time. You're keeping regurgitating it, and it's like, what? So then it calls you then to say, okay, especially when you push it down, but then you keep seeing, so you just keep
it popping up all the time. Yeah.
If you know the person, you know, things change.
Yeah.
So you gotta know. We spoke about personalities in the beginning, knowing the person that you and so forth. If that don't work, then you go to the telephone.
Well, I know some of the signs I used to be looking for would have been, you know, Melissa and I be together, and I accustomed, no, she accustomed, when she messaging me in bed laying down, she's messaging like this.
Right.
And all this, so she messaging it, all of a sudden now, that was in the beginning, now my girl now text like this.
Back turn to you.
On the custom being up in the bed, all of a sudden now the phone always face down.
Right.
You know, messages coming in at 9:03. You reply all kind of thing, and then if I happen to go on your phone, because I believe that we should have each other's password. People disagree with me, and I know that everybody down there.
Tell me what you believe that. What do you believe that? What do you believe that the password should be shared, especially if you're not married?
Oh, especially if you're not married.
Yeah.
Man, you're putting me on the spot because I just think it's a dance thing. I don't think there's a legitimate reason for it. I just strongly believe this. When I get involved, it's like, look, give me your password. I give you my password because we have nothing to hide, and I can assure you, you give me your password, I am not gonna give your phone, never. But you see, the make you give me that password, I learned from my friend. Wait, I'm not gonna say this on camera. I learned from my friend. A letter a day will help you getting Sunday.
That was not this friend.
So today I watched the hand go to 4.
No, we got face recognition and stuff now. So.
Exactly. And you know, sometimes now you got the fingerprint antenna too.
Right. But
no, we're gonna stick to take your finger, put your fingerprint in it. I got this covered.
Oh, okay.
And if it's wake up hand, and as you open their eyes, you know, keep phone in front, I get it and say, "Nothing, just go back to sleep." And I done that phone. Just kidding.
But one of the things is if you realize that they're hiding the messages, yes, and then what else after that? Hiding messages, you know, phone and stuff.
Yeah, they don't be as affectionate
as before.
Time. But obviously, somebody else, when they knew, somebody else got them up. You know, the feeling, everything you do annoying them,
picking fights.
The one person that making them happy. They watch you or they be extra nice. I don't know. Some people say when they be extra nice, they try to compensate for doing wrong because they feel the guilty feeling inside. So it's
yes.
You know, be nice, extra nice. I guess not answering the phone if you call, like they usually do, and then turning off the phone. You know, so one that said. Every time her boyfriend goes out, he turns off the phone and they say the battery is dead.
As soon as he left?
Yeah, I love what you call battery phone going to voicemail. What happened? Oh, the battery dead. Like what? That phone must be like airplane mode or something. You don't even know.
Yeah.
They're very creative. especially if, and it's harder if you don't live with the person, I think too, because you know, you cannot account for person's whereabouts. So you either have to trust the person or you don't trust the person. And right now, I think most people it's so exhausting when you try to find out if somebody's cheating or not. It's so exhausting, especially for women. It's very exhausting.
Too much work.
And I'm saying, if you know you into it no more, just go on. Just let me know. I don't want to do that because I don't want to have the kid. I don't want it.
If you can't trust, this is hypocritical Dylan speaking. If you have lost all trust in the person, let you know.
Correct.
I was that person that believed in looking at your phone and seeing all those things. That was the old Dylan. The new Dylan is like, you know what? If I can't trust you anymore and I am sick and tired of the relationship, your behavior patterns have changed. Everything about you has changed. I'd be like, you know what? This has become a toxic and fractured relationship, and as a result of that, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Get done with that.
You can be
They're
friends.
no longer making you happy.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like the moment you gotta question yourself so much, you already know the answer. So anytime you start having all those questions, it just bounces. That's why I firmly believe that you need to consult the Lord before you go into these relationships, because examples presenting themselves, these people pretend to be people that they're not. So make sure you consult Jesus, and only when he say yes, make a move. If you don't hear nothing, stay put, because you can find yourself in some serious problems. But then I want to get a bit deeper before we close up, because I feel like both you and Melissa have a lot more to share. You're covering it up for me. So tell me about a time where you either cheated or someone cheated on you. Because I know it's the past. It's not who you are now. You have been renewed under the blood of the Lamb. So tell me.
Kamisha, I just want to put that is a possibility that my pastor maybe in the comments has been looking through. There's a possibility that.
But you're changed, so that's fine. Pastor, he's changed. He's saved now. Thank God. God does do miracles.
Please forgive me for the past, but I'm moving forward about the right trajectory now. Yes.
Yes. Amen.
It's okay. You have to call for even one Kamisha,
Go ahead, Dylan. The listeners are waiting.
On a serious note, I've done both. Like, I've been cheated on, and I have cheated on persons, but my cheating came as a result of either the person indicating to me that they would have cheated, and then I say, well, you know what? I wanted to get even, so I just sought to, pay. Like, it's almost you gave me that hard pass, and I want to take it, and I probably would take more than I want. But in terms of when I was cheated on, like that, it cuts you like a knife in your heart, stabs you right there, and it is nothing that's good, because my first harm was I was really young, and I remember not eating. Actually, I was working with Melissa, and I remember coming home, and I cried that whole day, and my mother was asking, they call me Kimar, what happened? Kimar, what happened? And then, of course, everyone knows what happened with Dylan. Call Melissa. And she called Melissa, and Melissa was like, well, mommy, know. I remember saying, well, I know he's an idiot. And I was like, yeah, I was an idiot in love, So, and when I love deeply, I love strongly. So as a result of that, I decided, I need to change all of that, because two wrongs don't make a right. I've learned that the hard way. This is the mature Dylan talking. Two wrongs don't make a right, but Correct. It really hurt. And I would have done some horrible things to the persons that would have also cheated on me. Like, I was cheated on in probably my bed before that we were sharing. And I took the bed, the mattress, and I delivered it to your house. And I placed it on your doorstep.
Just like that?
Just like that. I was petty. Yeah, but I have grown and I'm much mature now, and I don't endeavor anything like that. I will have conversations. If I'm not happy, my best friend said it, I'm moving on.
There you go. There you go. What about you, Melissa? Have you ever cheated or been cheated on?
Man, that's like a knife, you know. Very bad have been, you
Mm-hmm.
know, with someone that you trusted and you thought, you know, you thought it was going smooth and you know there were no indications
Mm-hmm.
that some still
Yeah,
behaving the
yeah.
same way, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
however, it's not all bad because at the end of the day, you're
Mm-hmm.
more certain, you know these things, you know what to look for, and then in some cases it's really I feel for the person that comes after
Yeah, yeah.
because then you know you build up this
Wow.
kind of yeah you build up this defense so then it
Yeah, yeah.
almost seems you may be robotic or you don't have any emotions or
Mm-hmm.
you're too firm or you're too bossy and this, but it's sometimes a result of the trauma that
Mm-hmm.
you know, you've been
That you
through.
went through. True. Very true. And I get a question too, and I think this was a discussion previously where someone was asking, why is it that most men seem not to be able to make up their mind, especially when they're, well, I can't really say when they're younger, but there seems to be a challenge with men making up their mind in terms of what do they want. So they make it seem as though they're interested in you when they know they're not necessarily interested in you. They may just be interested in what can happen with being with you. So the question really is, why is it that men are very confused or conflicted? So to give a better explanation, let's give a scenario. So let's say, for example, there's this girl, she's talking to this guy, they were together and everything, they broke up. He went off on his own, and he's doing his own thing. She's looking to pretty much rebuild because she coming out to the heartache and stuff. But then he comes back again and he's saying, them still friends, but yet still he's acting more than friends. So he's starting this whole entanglement, the situationship, so to speak. And it's mainly because he is confused about what he wants and who he wants to be with. Why do you think something like this usually occurs mostly with men? It's a harder question.
I think I think the better question, I think you may have to direct to the guy who's going through that because I've never been in a situation. Wait, hold up. I've, I don't even know what to say, Kamisha. That's the truth. Like sometimes okay. Initially, you know what you want. Yeah, this is the person I definitely want. Then you realize, this is not working out for me, and especially dependent on when this person came into your life,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes persons are there for a season and a reason,
True.
and
Very true. Very true.
that end. But
Mm-hmm.
you never know, given the circumstance, I may go out there and experience other persons, but then realize, you know what? I had a gem. And what I'm getting is just like, just by the ways, just spur moments type of things.
Kind of thing.
What
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had was legit. This was 110% what I wanted. But it took me a year and a half or 2 years after us ending to realize that I want you, and that is natural. That happens. And especially if that was my very first love and I've never experienced anybody else before. So I may
Right.
want to experience other things, and then I may want to come back home. And that's why Wendy Williams, and everyone knows me, know I love Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said it on her show more every time a young person speaks to her, she would say to them, you know what, you need to experience life and then think about marriage and all these other things after that. Because sometimes you bump in or you go head first into stuff and then you realize this is not going to work, this is not for me. Then you have all the challenges and all of that. But yeah, you can have someone, leave them, and then come back to that person after realizing that, you know what, this person was really for me, and hopefully they're still there and you can get them back. It has happened to me. I mean, we're not
Mm-hmm.
together today, but
Right.
I went back to someone already, and the second time around was joy unspeakable and full of glory. They were one of the loves of my life, and
Mm-hmm.
if they're they would always know that they always have a part of my heart, regardless.
So what happened now? What happened now? So wait, the men here now?
They don't reside here anymore.
Oh, that's the only reason? Is that the only reason why?
Kamisha, you're not dating. I just want you to know, just in case I am dating at this time, you're not gonna put me in a position where you have to do part two, and then I have to tell you that I am now single. So therefore, if we had a fifth, 75th Amendment, we had that here in Barbados, I wanted to exercise. I plead the fifth at this time.
No comment. Just tell me no comment. It's okay. It's okay. Melissa, you were going to add you're going to add to that before I get Dylan in trouble. Oh, dear. At this point, what happened? You need a refill?
I forgot the question.
The question was the scenario of men not seeming to be confused. Are you think at this point you feel like Dylan covered it all?
Going back and coming back.
Yes.
Ain't not coming back.
You leave one time. Yeah, you leave one time. Yeah.
Good days, Kamisha. We're nice today. Good.
Men get out there running around stage later than women. So when women, they had the party, they had the flings, they had their guys, whatever. When they get to a certain age, they realize it's time to settle down. Men know on the other hand, they say women develop faster than men.
Yes.
Men, on the other hand, they still want to be running around. It's only when it hit when probably they get 30, I guess, they realize, no, I'm looking for stability now. I know looking to get some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more I get money, I want to get a home, I want to have a relationship because they terribly running around. I want to be focused. So then they get into that more, later than women. So when women are already up there doing the planning, the men still trying to finish up there running around. And then, oh boy, the woman I had before, she was actually a good woman. Yeah, she's the person I know that could. Men also like women that could be a strong support for them. So they like women that that they can count on. That if they're steering too far from the left, you bring them back center to keep them grounded. They keep them they get tired of the clubbing and the partying and the thing and these things, and you just want to find stability. You want to be comfortable.
Compliment us.
Man,
We want someone to compliment us.
to compliment you.
Yeah.
And, to pull you along. And be and help you do certain things. Get your foot in, and then
and then go from there.
Yeah. Then when they do, they realize it's almost like they wake up one day and say, "I ain't got this. Why are you sleeping?" And they're doing that. So then it's almost like a rush. Then so it's like. Stop partying all of a sudden, you just call this or whatever, and you just not focusing on getting money, you're building your wealth, you get him money, you're trying to secure that job that you always wanted or whatever. Then it comes female and or your part to compliment you.
I just mention more persons as well. We're targeting males here, but I just think in general, I found, especially as of recent, with my journey back to church and stuff like that, my spiritual journey, that the church really helps a lot to give that guidance and really put things into perspective, and especially dependent on the pastor that you may have, the information that they would share, it'd be like, wait, he read my mind or she read my mind, and really, it helps you to mature emotionally, spiritually, everything. So then you're able then to open up and love stronger and love from a spiritual perspective and also an emotional perspective.
Yeah. Well said. So we're about to wrap up, but I have just two more questions to ask. And one is, why do women and men lie in relationships? That was a question that actually came in from one of our viewers. Why do we think women and men lie in relationships?
because the truth will get you killed.
Because of what?
The truth will get you killed. How can you go home? Somebody says to you, where you know come from? How you gonna say I know come from another woman's house? You got to say I know come from hanging with the boys.
But we doing it in the first place.
You ask why do we lie? So
I know, it's true, but I'm saying if you know that doing a particular thing is gonna cause you to lie, do not do it. So that you don't have to lie.
It has been done. So my thing is I don't do it, so I gotta lie my way out to it. I know people say the truth. People say the truth shall set you free. But I disagree when it comes to relationships. Let me tell you something. That truth can get you hurt. You understand? And if you know you're deeply in love, because people make mistakes, yeah?
True.
So you may not go your way to do something. Something just one thing led to another. Unfortunately, it was intoxicated or whatever. And you know if you tell your significant other that it would kill them, it would break their heart, and you know your significant other. So sometimes in order to protect them and their heart, sanity, you may have to tell that person a lie. I don't advocate for that. So I went to that person, hey, you know, you really should have those conversations, but why they lie? Because you don't want to hurt the other person, especially if you love them dearly. You don't want to hurt them.
Right. You want to add to that, Melissa?
Kamisha, you would have said, why put yourself in that position?
Yes.
Try not to put yourself in compromising positions where you know at the end of the day, the person that you got will not be comfortable if they know you've been doing this.
Yes, yes.
And if your memory bad, like you got one later.
You're right, because I mean,
probably two times you ask the same question. So your story better be right. Story better be right.
And like that, because I can answer you same question 7 different ways.
The time when we ask the questions, I already got the answers.
There we go.
Already have the answers. So
don't tell me the church. No, we're trying to be calm.
See if you lie or not. So when you there, like,
don't know. Don't know what that response is.
Got the answers.
We done got this for long.
No, we done got the answers.
Really?
You may done got it for long.
We done got the answers.
Ain't amnesia going on up in here. Because you done, especially you know type of woman you got, you done remember how you tell she, any man who no listen, if you can pick, you can forget, write it down. Make a note of that line.
Don't make the line.
Reverse it.
So Mike Dylan, how about don't lie? Start there.
Listen, look, this is a lesson in what not to do.
Yes.
But yeah, Kamisha, I agree. Don't you know what? Don't put yourself in the position to have to lie. I can't tell you don't lie, but don't put yourself in the position that you will then have to lie.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you're building a relationship and we going towards getting relationship goals and we want to have that open conversation, I want you to be in a relationship with me where you're not afraid to ever have to come and say, okay, so happened. You know, even if you feel like I can react a certain type of way, still tell me. And then at that point, we started to develop a little bit more trust. So I know, all right, you know, when I see he goes certain places, Susan got eye for he, so me watch out so this and that, you know, I kind of cover that sort of way. So yeah, I agree. But, huh?
I believe in a relationship, you should have your own person as well. You understand your own individual. You should not be consumed in the relationship, whereas you gotta do everything with your significant other. If you go here, body up behind you.
That button, yeah.
You have your own life, and then you know you become. Then you have a much more appreciation then for the person. So you don't need to be up every time I get something.
Let me mess you a little bit. Yeah.
Everybody does flirt. There's nothing wrong. There's good flirting. Sometimes I know it keeps people saying, you know, still got it, you know.
But stay young.
Yeah,
feeling wanted.
But we are human beings, you know, and some people strive on compliments. So you feel good, it just makes you feel overall.
Yeah.
So, you know, I not coming from the person that you have, but somebody from the outside can actually look and say, hey, you look really nice today. you know, your husband is really lucky. Things like that. And people like to hear that, you know.
You still gotta be careful with them comments though, because some of those people that do that, they're very calculated. So they do understand certain things that get you, you know. So you still gotta be able to draw the line where you realize, okay, this is too much.
And it's how you respond as well, because you can take a compliment.
Yeah.
Say thank you. You know, that's very nice. Thank you. You don't have to carry on any further. So it's also when people come at you, you have to know how to respond. You have to know. So when people say, okay, so this body's been talking to you, I don't want to hear, what did you say?
Correct.
Let me see, what did you say? Because they can say, but if a relationship or whatever, what did you say? What was your response?
Yeah.
You tell me. Because they can say anything.
It's true. It's true. So my final question to you, and this is a big one. Do you think that we're having a lot of challenges with relationships these days because persons have not found the time to enjoy their singleness in terms of really getting to know yourself in your singleness period? Because I know of persons who, you know, they're in a relationship today, they finish tomorrow, and before the next day could happen, they're in another relationship again, so they've never really had the chance to be alone. Do you agree with that statement? And if so, tell me why.
Yeah, I personally agree with that. Like, Melissa have said this to me a million times. She just was saying it very softly that she don't think she've ever seen me single. Like, I always believed that I needed to be committed. Like, I always wanted to feel wanted and being involved with somebody, and you know, so I believe in that. But as I would have matured over the years and looking back at my life, I don't have any regrets because I learned valuable lessons in every relationship I was in, and I mean a lot from each and every one of them. But I think at some given time throughout that period, I should have really taken a step back and really gotten to know Dylan and love Dylan, because I hear a person say, if you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else?
Exactly.
And I never trying to love Dylan and do Dylan. I always was trying to please others, and in doing that, you can't please others if you can't please yourself. And that's why the person I am today now is a much better person. Who have me now today, I'm a much better person, because at the end of the day, I can love them wholly and solely because I got some time to, not a lot, but I got enough time that I can look back and say, listen, these were that you made, and this is what you need to do in going forward. And stop giving. Allow someone to also give to you also. Let it be 50-50 if need be. And, you know, that level of balance and compatibility, and just look for all those things before you get into it. And court long. There's no rush to say we are a couple. Like, just court. You know,
how do you court in the 21st century though?
I don't know, because you don't know when you start doing it. I was asking to people still say, they still say to you, okay, let me be girlfriend and boyfriend. I think it's just automatically after.
Yeah, you know, all of a sudden that's my man. That's my man. But we had the conversation yet.
Somewhat old school, because I mean I'm not married, so don't be fooled by the ring. But I'm not married. But at the end of the day, I love anniversaries. Like I love celebrating milestones and stuff like that. So 1 year anniversary, I want to, even if it's nothing big, I want to do something on the day that we made it quote unquote official. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to the beach and walk on the beach and just reflect on the last year or the last 2 years. You know, let's go down memory lane. I love that type of stuff. I'm a hopeful romantic.
Right there with your brother. If you spend that time with me, might tell me that my head ain't closed, but Dylan, you already know me, so.
That'll be all year round. No,
I'll be quiet. I don't want rain. I'll be quiet. But all year round. I agree with you, Melissa. All year round, not just the first time. Yeah.
You gotta keep that playful. Playful. relationship, and every time you look at, you should be like you get butterflies. I don't know.
Yeah.
It shows.
Mm-hmm.
So
keep the honeymoon phase forever, you know, because in the honeymoon, it's like, especially if you don't live together, you can't wait to hear the person.
Yeah.
If you know you see them on weekends, you can't wait to see them the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, your heart's skipping a beat still, and when you're having a bad day, and then all of a sudden you get this message, and you get this cute message
some
like
kisses,
thinking about you, babe.
Nice pic.
You know, just making you feel real special. And the thing is, you just know when they're right, because then they always send the messages at the right time. Your boss got you so upset, called you into their office and just piss you right off. And you go back to your message, they're like, you know what, I just was thinking about you and I just want to have an awesome day. Just like that message, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna have an awesome day.
Yeah. You just met my day.
This big stupid smile on your face all day, like $1 million.
Mm-hmm. All right, sure. So we're about to wrap up though. So our final closing words, I want you guys both to tell me what would be your final advice to someone who is in a relationship. What would you say to someone in terms of the person who wants to have that relationship goals, and for that person also who's in an entanglement, what would be your advice to them? So give me advice for both, from both sides.
For the person who's in entanglement, I would say be careful. Be careful. These, especially in these days, you don't know what it can lead to. You can either be hurt or you can hurt people. And when I say hurt, I just don't mean like in terms of emotion, but people are crazy. So physically hurt.
Yeah.
And for the person who's thinking about relationship goals, really sit down and analyze the situation in its entirety, and also know that there need to be some level of compromise. You don't compromise everything, because you still need to have your individual stance on stuff. But at the end, you don't need to compromise, because everyone is not the same, and you gotta be willing to be flexible and understand and take that time to learn the person, and allow the person to take time to learn you before you move forward. So that would be my advice for both.
Yeah. Well said.
I really echo the sentiments. Relationships can be very beautiful, and you just need to have communication. You need to communicate. That's the foundation. So you need to communicate. In an entanglement, as I said, be careful.
Yes.
Very careful. But also know your worth. And once you do that and you know what you deserve, I think you'll be able to make an informed decision.
Yep. Well said. Well, thank you guys so much. It was definitely a pleasure chatting with you. All know I'm ready to talk some more, but I know in the interest of time, we're about to wrap it up. So to you guys who are out there,
Kamisha.
Sorry, say that again.
Now to get in a relationship.
That we need to get into a relationship?
No, are you, Kamisha, ready to get into a relationship? That's the question for you.
I believe that I am ready, but in God's timing, He'll make it ready for me. That's what I would say. That's what I say. I believe I'm ready, but God's timing is the perfect timing, and I trust His timing, so I'll wait. I don't mind waiting.
Is God show you any signs as yet, Kamisha?
I have several signs, but with all these signs that I'm getting, again, it is timing, because He hasn't said make the move yet, but He's showing me stuff along the way. So I do believe that,
Amen.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Still drop your comments down below, because I'm sure Dylan and Melissa will jump in and be ready to respond to your questions if you have any. And thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.